Okay, here's my interpretation of the Elliott Wave Theory for the Dow Jones Industrial Average since the Great Depression. Now, I've seen a lot of videos online talking about the different Elliott wave patterns since the Great Depression, and some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. So I thought I would do my own and give you my interpretation of where it is today and where I think the next move will be, and ultimately where it will terminate. So looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average since 1930, we have an up move. Now, this could be wave 1 down, and this could be wave 2 down, and this could be wave 3 up. But I'm not too concerned about that, because what I'm concerned more about is just this move up and where the correction, if indeed we're going to get a correction, might terminate. Elliott wave dictates that when you have a 5-wave move in one direction, you'll get a 3-wave move, which is corrective, in the opposite direction. So if we can count 5 waves up, we then should expect 3 waves down, and what we're trying to figure out is where that 3-wave move will go. Now, one of the principles of the Elliott Wave Theory is that channel lines will dictate the peaks and valleys of the waves for the most part, and one of the rules is wave 2 and 4 you can typically connect, or waves or the tops of waves 1 and 3, or the tops of 3 and 5. Any two are valid, and in this case it appears to me that this channel works best by connecting the bottoms of waves 2 and 4 and the tops of waves 1 and 3, and you end up with a throwover, basically an extended wave 5 throwover, because clearly 5 here, this wave 5 is longer than this wave 3, but you'll notice that wave 3 is not the shortest wave. Wave 1 is, so that does work out for the Elliott Wave Theory. So let's go through this. There are basically 5 waves that I can count up, and they looked fairly succinct. So this to me looks like wave 1 up, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what's interesting about this is, okay, so 4 does not overlap 1, but look how long 5 is compared to 3. Kind of a prelude to that wave 5 could be extending, and is typically a parent-child relationship in lots of waves. So for instance, you see here wave 5 is a very long wave compared to 3. I haven't measured it exactly, but if it's not the same length, it's a little bit larger, it looks like, or at least the same length. But clearly 1 is the shortest length here if you do measure it. So that is a valid wave pattern. The same here. I count a 5-wave pattern, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in the middle of the 5th wave. And look how long the 5th wave is. Just like this 5th wave here all the way up is so long. It looks to me like that is the pattern that is holding true in this whole sequence. Now, it doesn't happen in every single wave, but it happens in enough to where you can see that that's the relationship that's occurring in this entire wave structure. So if indeed we believe this is wave 1 up, this looks like a correction to me in wave 2, a simple zigzag wave 2. And that means if indeed that is true, that wave 4 will probably not be a zigzag, and in this case what I show is wave 4 being a triangle, and that is the rule of alternation, and it seems to work out pretty well here. I see this as an A, B, C, D, E expanding triangle, and then that terminates wave 4, which comes back to the trend line. These trend lines are parallel. They do appear to connect the bottoms of 2 and 4 and the tops of 1 and 3. So that also tends to work out well in the Elliott Wave Theory. Now, just so you're aware, I haven't mentioned it, this is a log scale. We're up at 14,000, roughly up here at this point. Just so that you can see this chart correctly from an Elliott Wave perspective, this is in log format. This bottom down here, where I've shown here, at the bottom of wave 4 is 560 on the Dow. I believe that the bottom here, following the Great Depression, was 40. So we'll give you some kind of perspective of the scale of this chart. Now, after wave 2, I count a 5-wave sequence up, a 3 down, and then normally 3 will be 5 waves in itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending a 5-wave set, so that's wave 3. I then see a flat here, down, up, down, with a termination lower than the previous termination here. I call that wave 4, and then this wave 5. That completes wave 3. I then see a triangle, which completes wave 4. And then this was the move in the 1980s that seemed to last forever, all the way into 2000, before the recession of 2002. Wave 1 up, and it's debatable whether this is the bottom of 2 or this is the bottom of 2. I don't think it matters if you actually count this, because you can count it 2 different ways. I then have 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, not overlapping the top, and then 5 up here, completing wave 3. So for wave 3, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wave 3. I then have a wave 4, and then the 5th and final wave extends, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how did I get to some of these levels? If you're not sure, there's a rule in Elliott Wave. It's more of a guideline, not a rule, that wave 4s will typically, or corrections, I should say, not wave 4s, but corrections will typically come back to the previous 4th wave of minor degree prior to it. It's not hard steadfast, but it is a guideline that typically does work out. If you look around, you can see that wave 2 here terminated roughly at the bottom of wave 4. And you can see here that this wave 4 came back to this previous 4th, just like this 4th came back in the vicinity of wave 4 here. It didn't come to the beginning here, but it did come down to that level. I believe as well that because this is a 5th wave completed, that we will get a 3-wave correction. And what it sure looks like to me is this is an ABC. Clearly not impulsive, which means a 3, and then this is a clear 3-wave. So you have a 3, 3. I believe you're going to get a 5 here. That's a flat. And this 3-wave correction should terminate in the proximity of a previous 4th wave. Now, could it have ended here? Yeah. But we're still in the channel. For this to work out, this correction has to come down out of the channel and must terminate somewhere in this area. Now, here's a 4th wave over here. That's at 1600. There's another 4th wave, which is the previous 4th wave for this entire move, which is around 560. If I'm not mistaken, that's where Robert Prechter has projected this move to go as well. Now, where are we going today? Well, this was the big move down in 2008.